Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, class. We are starting our new chapter, and the name of the chapter is induction motors. So we are studying mainly about the AC machines. In the last chapter, we started with the basics of the AC machines. We learned about that how the voltage will be induced if a conductor is moving inside a static magnetic field or a rotating magnetic field. Okay, so the voltage will be induced. Okay, we learned that torque will be induced due to the interaction of the two magnetic fields inside a machine, and that torque will actually eventually become the reason of the rotation of your rotor, right? So we started with the basics, then we learned about the synchronous generator. Okay, we learned about the synchronous generator, then we learned about the synchronous motors. Okay, so the third machine which we are going to study, okay, in this course is the third AC machine is induction motor. Okay, so induction motor is actually very commonly used in the a lot of applications. Okay, for example, in your homes you are using blenders, juicers, washing machines, refrigerators, okay, pumps, compressors, fans. Okay, so in all these applications, a lot of other applications in the, okay, we are actually using induction motor. So in this chapter we are going to study that what exactly is induction motor, how it will works, what is the difference of the induction motor from the synchronous motor. Okay, so let's see. So basically induction motor, okay, the structure of the induction motor is similar to the synchronous motor. Okay, but the only difference is, for example, in the synchronous motor, okay, we remember that we have a stator. So induction motor will also have a stator, and we have one rotor. Okay, so that was our rotor. Okay, so in the synchronous motor, so this rotor has the field winding. We are supplying the DC power to this one. Okay, the stator, we are supplying the three phase to stator, and we are getting the stator magnetic field. Okay, and we are also getting the rotor magnetic field, and they are interacting with each others, and finally the rotor was rotating, right? So basically in this motor we have two excitations, one is the three phase and one is the DC. So this is actually called double excited machine. In induction motor we will also have stator, okay, and inside the stator we will have a rotor. Okay, so basically in induction motor the construction of the stator is a bit different from the synchronous generator. So we actually have evenly punched holes. Okay, for example, if this is the stator outward, the stator outward area, okay, for example this one, so inside we will have the evenly punched holes. Okay, and inside these holes we will place the stator windings. Okay, and we will supply the three phase power supply, okay, to the stator winding as we are doing in synchronous motor. Okay, but the difference is, the big difference between synchronous and induction motor is that we are not supplying any DC supply to our rotor. Okay, we are not supplying any DC supply, we are only supplying three phase power supply. So what will happen when we supply the three phase power supply to the stator? Okay, so we will get the stator magnetic field, okay, which is actually rotating in the counterclockwise direction. Okay, it's a rotating magnetic field. Okay, so we know that it's a very basic principle. Okay, so like if I place one a bar inside a rotating magnetic field, okay, if I place a stationary bar within a rotating magnetic field, then what will happen? The changing magnetic field, it will induce the voltage in the bar, right? You know that. So, and if this bar is short circuited, okay, then the current will start flowing through this one, right? So when the current will start flow, then we will get the another magnetic field, the induced magnetic field in that bar, right? So that is actually what is actually happening in induction motor. Our rotor is stationary. So when we have the rotating magnetic field, this rotating magnetic field will induce the voltage in the rotor. Okay. So the rotor configuration, the rotor structure is different than the induction, the synchronous generator. We made the rotor structure in the kind of a short circuit. Okay. We will see more details about the rotor configuration in the coming slides. So basically we will get, we'll have the stator magnetic field, and then we will get the induced voltage. Induced voltage will produce a current in the rotor circuit, and eventually we will get the rotor magnetic field. And once we have the rotor magnetic field, now due to the interaction of these two magnetic field, eventually the torque will be induced. Okay, and that torque will actually turn this, accelerate this rotor. Okay, so that is actually the basic working operation, the principle of the induction motor. So here we are actually having only one excitation. This is actually called single excitation machine. Okay, so what are the advantages? So if you see here, okay, if we are using the synchronous generator, we need the separate DC power supply. So we don't need any DC power supply here. No, for this one, if you remember, we also need the slip rings or brushes. Okay, we don't need anything here. Okay, so actually this makes the induction motor more rugged machine, more rugged in fit and forget. Okay, like you buy the induction motor, install it one time, okay, and then it will have the very low maintenance. Okay, the life could be very long, reliability will be very long, it's comparatively low cost. Okay, because one thing is you don't need the X excitation, you don't need the slip rings. Okay, services requirement is very long, efficiency is very good. Okay, so this is like more like this is the stator winding, and we have a rotor here. So this is basically a squirrel cage rotor. So in the induction motor we have two kinds of the rotor. Briefly I am going to discuss that. So what is actually happening here now, as I explained, that the voltage will be induced in the rotor. Okay, so this voltage is being induced. Okay, so this induction of the voltage in the rotor is similar to the concept which we have studied in chapter 2, transformer. Okay, so in the transformer, it's similar thing is happening, that we have a primary winding, we have a core, and we have a secondary winding. So the voltage from the primary winding is induced to the secondary winding, right? Okay, so the same thing is happening. Okay, the voltage you are applying at the stator, and that it's inducing the voltage in the winding of the rotor. Okay, so the operating principle of this induction motor is similar to the transformer operation. So in the later stage we will see that when we will make the equivalent circuit of the induction motor, so equivalent circuit of the induction motor is also similar to the transformer. Okay, some applications. Okay, so again the things which I have just explained you, that for example these are the stator windings. Okay, and we are supplying the three-phase power supply to them, and we will get the rotating stator magnetic field. Okay, these lines which are being said, these are the stator magnetic field. So this stator magnetic field will induce the voltage in the rotor windings. Okay, and eventually we will get the BR, and the interaction of these two, it will result in the rotation of the your rotor. Okay, so there are basically two types of the mechanism for the construction of the rotors of the induction motor. One is called wound rotor, and the other is called squirrel cage rotor. Wound rotor shape looks like this one, that we make the punch. Okay, you have a like just laminated steel, and you make the hole punch here. Okay, and the rotor windings are going through them. Okay, But if you are using the wound rotor, then actually we also need the slip rings. Okay. The other type of the rotor is squirrel cage rotors. Squirrel cage rotor is the like you have seen. We have a core. Okay. So for example, in the 2D view, you have this core, and in this core you are making punches. Okay, and then you are placing the rods through them, like you can see here. Okay, these are the rods. Okay, this is the punch, and that's going to the rods. These rods. Okay, so it's going to the rods. Okay, and at both sides of the rod, okay, it's short circuited. Okay, this structure is similar, like you have seen armature winding, which we use for the to start the synchronous motors. Okay, the structure is similar. Okay, so this is called squirrel cage rotor. So squirrel cage rotor is more efficient than the wound rotor configuration, because you need the extra slip rings here for the functionality, and also this structure is more rugged. Okay, it's required less maintenance as compared to this structure. So these are the basic two kinds of the rotors. Okay, again some animations. Okay, so what we are doing in the induction motor, okay, we have the stator, and we are supplying the three-phase input to the stator, and this three-phase input is actually producing the rotor magnetic field, and with that interaction we are finally having the induced torque. Okay, rotor configurations I have explained, just briefly go through these things, some more examples. Okay, so this is the squirrel cage rotor, which I was explaining, that we have a core, and we make the punches, and through them the rods are passing. Okay, and these are short circuited. Okay, so when the voltage will be induced, so because this is a short circuit, so we will having the flow of the current. Okay, and when the flow of the current will having, we will get the induced magnetic field, rotor magnetic field. Okay, so let's see how actually the torque will be produced. Okay, so this is the base mechanism. Okay, we know that. Okay, as I explained in the earlier slides. Okay, we will get the rotor magnetic field. In the coming slides, we will see in more details how eventually we will get this. But the basic principle is same. When we get the rotor magnetic field, the interaction of these two, it will induce the torque in the induction motor, and eventually the rotor will start accelerating. Okay, and it will start chasing the stator magnetic field. Okay, because it is being produced due to him. Okay, so that is the basic operation. Okay, and one very important thing is here. Okay, so we have a stator, and we got a rotor here. Okay, so the one thing is, in the induction machine, for example, this is stator. Okay, and this is my rotor. So we have small air gap here. This air gap is used so that the rotor can rotate freely. Okay, this is a very important thing. Okay, now the stator magnetic field, the rotating stator magnetic field, it will induce the rotor magnetic field. Okay, so because the rotor magnetic field is being produced by the stator magnetic field, and the rotor will start rotating. Okay, so basically the speed of the rotor, okay, it should be less than the speed of the stator. Okay, because the rotor is being rotated due to the induced magnetic field. So the rotational speed of the rotor, okay, I am calling as Nm. Okay, it will be less than the synchronous speed. Okay, so for example, if this stator magnetic field, this is my stator magnetic field, and it is rotating with the synchronous speed. Okay, then the rotor magnetic field, which is eventually produced, and it actually becoming the cause of the rotation of the rotor. Okay, that will always be less than the synchronous speed. Okay, why? Because if rotor start rotating at the same speed as the synchronous speed, okay, then the relative induced voltage is actually what? V cross B dot L. So if the rotor start rotating at the same speed as the stator magnetic field, then the relative velocity, the relative change of the velocity between the rotor and the stator magnetic field is zero, because it will become kind of a stationary. Okay, but to induce the voltage, we need the relative change of the motion. Okay, so it will become V0, so there will be no induced voltage in that case. So that's why So actual speed of the rotor will always be less than the synchronous speed. Okay. So in synchronous generator, synchronous motor, we can achieve the synchronous speed, but the induction motor will always will be running at the lesser speed than the synchronous speed. And we know that synchronous speed is related with the electrical frequency and the poles through this formula. Okay. So this is just a review. Okay, now let's see some more details. Okay, as I was talking that the voltage will be induced. So the voltage is very important thing here which I want to emphasize. Okay, the first step is that the voltage will be induced, and the voltage induced depends on the V cross Bs. Okay, so Bs here is our rotating magnetic field. Okay, this one, this is our Bs. Okay, rotating magnetic field. Okay, V is the velocity of the rotor bars relative to the magnetic field. Then what is the velocity of the rotor bar relative to the magnetic field, which is actually rotating here? Okay,